Yes, my young G's, welcome back to my channel, Let Daddy Talk, and I'm Daddy G. Okay, so today's topic is going to be an interesting one. Now, the video is going to be called, I Know Why Your Dad Went Around When You Was Growing Up. And this is a very touchy subject. I know that some of you guys probably won't want to hear this, but listen up. Now, this is what happens when you're a boy and you start to become a teenager and you start to become a man. You start to get feelings for females out there, and this is what happens. So the testosterone starts to kick in, and you see girls out there on the road that you're attracted to, and you want to start showing them attention. And this is natural. This is a natural thing to happen for a young man. But when you show attention to girls on the roads, they start to feed on that attention, and they start to enjoy your company, especially if you're a good-looking guy. You know, they want to spend time with you, and you start spending time with this person, and you get to know this girl. You really like her. And then what happens is, you know, you guys start to catch feelings for each other. And then once that happens, she wants to spend as much time with you as possible, and vice versa. So you might have initially wanted this to just be a bit of fun, and she wants it to be a little bit more exclusive. Like, she wants you to be with her and no other girls. And so what happens is, she starts to be nice to you. She shows you loads of attention. She gives you what you want. You start meeting up regular. She creates a comfortable, peaceful environment for you to be in, and then you start to enjoy this time that you're spending with her. And what you probably don't do is have any boundaries in place. So as a young person, a young man growing up, all you want to do is probably like hook up, have a bit of fun, and you're not thinking about anything else. Maybe you don't want anything serious. So after a amount of time, after some time, she wants to become, a little bit more seriousness. She wants like exclusiveness. She probably wants you to go out with her. And, this is something that all men end up getting sucked into. Now, you probably start getting intimate with this person, this girl, that you like, that you're probably hoping for, and she wants more. So what she'll tend to do is, maybe encourage you to stop using protection, or maybe she'll stop using birth control, because the way that a girl is going to get you to stay with her initially is by giving you a baby. So once she becomes pregnant, if she catches, that's it. You're together, you're forever bound to this person. Now, this is where it starts to get a little bit pear-shaped sometimes, because you wasn't ready to settle down and to have a baby with this person. You probably liked her, but not as far as to go out of her and actually get into a committed relationship. But that's what she wanted all along. She wanted you, and she wants you to be with her and no other girls. So she tries, to be nice. She hides her personality. She hides who she really is. And this is what happens to a lot of young men growing up. They just want to have fun, and the girls are trying to figure out a way how they can keep them, if that's what their goal is. I'm not saying all women are like this, or all girls are like this, females. Not all people are like this. But the vast majority of them, you know, have ulterior motives to being with you. You know, they want more. And eventually they get more. So, you know, you get close to this girl, you start slipping up, you start protecting yourself, and then she catches pregnant. After she's pregnant and the baby comes, you know, by that time you should be living together, which is exactly what, you know, usually happens. And it becomes normal for you guys to be around each other all the time, you know, in a relationship, a committed relationship. And what tends to happen is, you know, you're around each other a lot, so you start to annoy each other. Her true personality starts to come through, you know, things that you never would have settled for before starts to come out. Now, and this is the problem that a lot of young men have today. They don't have any head control. Now, when I use the word head control, I mean you can't just sleep around and hook up with any girl that you see on the street that you like. Like, you know, you have to have a bit more self-control. I know it's difficult for a young person because you got all these feelings and you want to put it somewhere. So, you know, you go out there and you try and do the most. Now, me personally, on my personal views, I like, you know, I believe in marriage. I believe that you should be married or in a long relationship and then married before you even consider having children, because the environment has to be correct for a young boy or a young girl to be in when they're growing up. So this is what happens. So the true personalities start to shine through. You don't like them, you know, you disagree, or maybe he was never there. Maybe it was just a one night thing and that's it. She got pregnant straight away. Now this can happen. This can definitely happen to you. If you're a young boy, young teen, early man, these things can happen to you. And you're out there looking for a little bit of fun and you end up having responsibilities that you wasn't ready for. Now this is a touchy subject because I know a lot of women probably won't want to hear this and they won't like it. But you make it, you know, there's a how can I say it without stepping on any toes? You are just as responsible for the thing as the man is. So he may walk away not being ready for this, you know, responsibility of having a newborn baby. And yes, he should have, you know, he should have protected himself. But you girls get yourselves into these situations, you know what I mean? You actually play a huge part because you always want more. And so this is what ends up happening, you know? Now, this is most likely what happened to your father, you know, maybe before you was born or while you was a young kid. These things happen. So, you know, your dad leaves, couldn't work it out with your mom, and now it leaves you feeling maybe unloved, maybe you feel abandoned, maybe you feel like your dad don't love you or it's your fault why he's not around. But the truth is, it had nothing to do with you. It's not your fault at all. You know, it's between your mom and it's between your dad. Why he's not around, you know. So these things happen today, and it's, you know, it's a struggle. And this is why we have broken families. This is why the boys are growing up without dads. But we can learn from these mistakes. If you look up to your elders, you know, your uncles or your older cousins or your friends, and you see them in relationships with women and how it is with them and their kids that they end up having, you can see that they're not happy. You know that, you know, they're miserable. They end up together and breaking up, and then together, and then they end up with somebody else. And so all these things are down to the fact that when you become a young man, you just get attracted to girls, you know, and you start to get intimacy with them, and you don't think about the kind of personality that they are, and you don't think about whether you want to be with this person long term or if it will work out, because these are the issues that we have as young men. So we have to learn from the mistakes of the past. It may not be our mistake that we have to learn from, but it's important that we learn from other people's mistakes. We don't just have to learn from our own mistakes. We can learn from other people's mistakes. It's imperative that we actually focus our lives on what we really want to do as men. You have to have a focus. You have to have a plan. You can't just be, you know, walking around aimlessly, meeting loads of different women and just hooking up with them, leaving, because this is why the world is the way it is. We have loads of boys with no fathers around because the fathers had no head control. So we have to decide, do we want this to continue? Do we want change? Or do we want the world to stay the same? It starts with you, and it starts with me. You know, we have to break this up. If you don't want to continue with the mistakes of the past, the way that your father treated you, then you cannot let the same thing happen when you have a son or a daughter. You know, that's what tends to happen. We do these things, we don't think it through, and the mistakes committed, and you've got, you know, responsibilities, and that you're stuck with this person. You may grow to hate each other. You know, this is what tends to happen 9 times out of 10. So this channel is really just, I created this channel to have discussions with young men, young boys growing up, teenagers, to help them to think about things before they do it. You can't just be aimlessly making the same mistakes as before and back out. You know, we can't just be doing the same things as we've always done, moving the same ways we've always done, and expecting different results. Doesn't work like that. Have to try and move clever. Okay? So this is Daddy G. This is my new channel. I'm just trying to reach young minds, help them to make better decisions, because ultimately the only person that suffers is the young ones. The young ones suffer, you know. It's a lot of stress, broken families, and it's just not nice, you know. Broken families means broken communities, and broken communities, broken world. This is why things have gotten so bad. So we need to, as young men, do all that we can to make sure that these things never happen again. It's difficult and it's a challenge, but you can do it. So that's what we have to do. So Daddy G signing out. I hope that I've gave you something to think about. Comment, like, subscribe to my channel. Every single little piece of activity helps the channel grow. You guys should be growing with me. As I grow, you grow. And I want to just change the world one mind at a time. So catch you guys in the next edition. Peace.